everyone, and namaste. This is Kapil Gautam, and I'd like to welcome you all for the today podcast series. As you all know that we are celebrating the Myopia Awareness Week, and we are going to talk about the myopia and myopia with the expert. So as a speaking delegates, we have Rohit Dhakal. So talking about the Rohit, he's completed his graduation in optometry and vision science from NH campus, West Bengal, India. He did his fellow in cornea and contact lens at LVPEI, Hyderabad. After he moved to the myopia research lab, Brian Holden Eye Research Center. Currently, he is pursuing PhD from City University, London, UK. So on the behalf of entire Mero Eye family and our participants, I would like to welcome you, Rohit, on our podcast series.
Thank you, Kapil. Thank you. And hi to everyone whoever are listening to us. Yeah.
Okay, so we are much excited. So I would like to go through this introduction, and then we'll be talking about the more a few of the your experience, your suggestion. All will be go through. All these informative session. Before that, so I'd like to go through the introduction. So few of the clinicians or the researchers or the eye health professionals say that the myopia is a pandemic. So from your perspective, is this a pandemic, or why this is pandemic, and what is the definition of myopia?
All right, thank you so much for the question, Kapil. So yeah, I think in my viewpoint, myopia is a pandemic. Now, why I am saying pandemic? So just let us go and see what does pandemic mean, right? So pandemic, by the name itself, pan means everywhere, right? And this myopia is also everywhere. It is not only confined to East Asian region, not only confined to your South Asian region or Asia Pacific region, but now it's everywhere. It's in the South Asia, SAARC countries, it's in Middle East, it's in Europe, it's in North America, South America, everywhere, even in Africa also everywhere. Although the prevalence of myopia varies with the location, with the continent, but since it is present everywhere, so I think myopia is pandemic. Yeah.
Okay, so you had talked about the East Asian country and the South Asian country. So we can see that there is in the South Asian country there is exponentially growing of the myopia prevalence. So it's a different in the different continent as well. So what do you think the major risk factor for increasing the myopia?
Yeah, so I would what I have seen, and then what even the evidence and literature also suggests, that broadly the risk factors for myopia can be categorized into two broad terms. One could be a genetical factor, other could be environmental and lifestyle related factor. So in genetical factor, I mean to say that how many number of parents are myopic? Is father myopic? Is mother myopic? Are both myopic? So what does it mean, right? So your literature again shows that if only one parent is myopic, then there is a chances that almost 25% chances that the kid will get myopia. And if both parents are myopic, then the chances will increase to around 45 to 50%, right? So this is the genetical risk factors for both development as well as progression of myopia. Now, another is environmental risk factor, lifestyle and environmental related risk factor. Now, here again, there are several things in environmental and lifestyle related factor. Like very important one is your outdoor light exposure, your near work, how much amount of near work are like people doing, and how many hours outdoor light exposure is children getting, right? Literature again shows that if a children gets almost like 2 hours of outdoor light exposure, that would be beneficial for them. That will delay the onset. Sometimes it will prevent the development of myopia. So that's what literature has shown. And now near work, the risk factor related to near work means your how many number of hours a kid is spending his or her time to do a near work, and at what distance they are doing this near work. Everything matters, right? A very short working distance and doing near work for a prolonged time is a very high risk factor for myopia progression, right? So all these things matters. Even your sleeping time, your waking up time, what's the quality of sleep, these things, whether the child is studying in a dim light or in a bright light, so everything matters. So I think these are the main risk factors are the genetical and environmental. Yeah.
Okay. In certain point, we can agree that there is a changes of the behavior in the, especially in the Southeast, South Asian people. So if you look yourself, so what are the major cause or what are the major things that causing increasing of the myopia in Nepal and in India?
So yeah, very good question. Now, if you see the prevalence of myopia in East Asian countries like China or Japan, Korea, Taiwan, you see that in almost like in teenagers especially, prevalence of myopia has reached to around 95 to almost like 98%. This teenagers. One of the study that was conducted in Seoul, Korea, for 19 years, teenager who are studying in high school in Seoul. In that class, there was almost like 90, I think more than 95, almost like 97 to 98% of prevalence of myopia was there. Now, if you see in South Asia or in SAARC region, you don't find that much prevalence of myopia, right? So I think in India, the highest prevalence was shown by Sankari Durg et al., where the prevalence was shown almost like 35% in school-going children. In Nepal, the recent study that was conducted in, I think in Palpa, 4 of the schools that was present in Palpa. So there, this school children were screened, and then almost like around 4% myopia prevalence was found there, right? So clearly it states that with the difference in geography, with the difference in location, prevalence of myopia also changes. And in the East Asian region, I think the main culprit is the number of hours they spend in near work, your urbanization, your prevalence of this gadget penetration of smartphones and all those gadgets, and less outdoor. Even your family history is very important to increase this prevalence of myopia to a super high level in East Asian countries. Now, when you talk the context of Nepal and India or Bangladesh, Pakistan, all these things where the prevalence is relatively low compared to East Asian countries, here I would mainly blame to environment and lifestyle that is changing in the current generation. If we say, let's look at our like father generation, where the penetration of all these smartphones and all those things was not much. They were mainly farmers who used to go outside. A lot of time they used to spend in outdoors, right? Now, the prevalence of myopia was really less. Now, in our generation, still we belong to that generation where again prevalence of myopia is less. But in the current generation, who are at least like 10 years younger to us, a lot of time they spend their time in using all these gadgets, because the penetration of smartphone and all other gadgets has increased now in these regions also, right? More and more modernization, more urbanization is going on. Because of all these things, now these kids are not going outdoors. They are spending a lot of time in near work, prolonged time at a very short distance, all those things. So I would blame to environment and lifestyle related changes in these regions, in our regions, for increasing prevalence day to day, like year by year, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you are more focusing on the to do the outdoor activities, to gain the sun bathing for the eye, at least avoiding the near work, right? So my question to you: what other strategies that you want to follow, or you want to request to follow to the parents or QL person which represent the society to reduce the myopia?
Let's take this ahead from the environment and lifestyle related thing. I'll shortly talk about this, further elaborate about environment and lifestyle related thing, and then I'll go to other anti-myopia strategies, right? So in environment and lifestyle related thing, like I said, since less outdoor light exposure, more amount of near work, your sleeping habits, all those things, reading in dim light, all these things matter. So we have to improve these things. Improving our lifestyle and environment is the first line of defense for anti-myopia thing, to slow down the myopia progression, right? So in this, what you can do is we can suggest children to at least spend 2 hours of time at outdoors, and this can be done in episode, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and even research has shown that if you do it in episode, it will be more fruitful than doing a continuous, or like then exposing to outdoor light for a continuous 2 hours, right? So this is one thing, at least 2 hours of outdoor light exposure. Second is, when I said earlier that doing a prolonged near work at a very short distance is a risk factor, so we have to break this chain. For that, what we can suggest our children is or our parents to be more vigilant on this. if a child is doing a near work at a very short distance, ask them to increase the distance. Okay, minimum 35 centimeter distance should be maintained. All right, and there should be a proper break. Let's say after every half an hour to 40 minutes of continuous near work, give a break of about 2 to 3 minutes. Right now, here break means there should be a break for the eye, not only from the break with what you are doing. Let's say, like I'll give an example of this corona pandemic things that happened, and then all the schools were shut down. Mode of education went to online mode, right? Physical educations were not there, and then since parents could not afford, all the parents could not afford laptop, desktop, smartphones were given to children to attend these online classes, right? And we know that smartphones has a very small screen. So if the size of the screen is smaller, then children tend to bring it very close, right? So, and then these online classes goes until like 4 hours, 5 hours, all those things, right? So continuously watching smartphones or a small size screen for 4 to 5 hours, so this is a risk for myopia progression. So what you can do is, if possible, go to larger screen size, maybe larger screen tabs or laptops or desktop. That would be good, just to increase the distance between you and the screen, right? If you use desktop and laptops, you will keep it at least more than 50 centimeter or maybe 60, 70 centimeter, compared to the smartphone, which are kept like this at a 30 centimeter or 35 centimeter, right? This is one mode through which we can increase the distance. Other could be your ask them to take frequent break in every 30 to 40 minutes for at least 2 to 3 minutes. And then when you move your eye from the screen, then open window, open door, see outside, talk to your parents, talk to your siblings, spend time with them at least 2 to 3 minutes. That way you will relax your eyes and give break, right? So this is another thing. Now talking about sleeping and waking up things, children, especially the children, the children who are at risk of developing myopia will be generally between the age of 5 to 10 or 15 years. And these children, this age group of children should sleep at least 9 hours, all right? Now, research again has shown that sleeping late and waking up late is a risk factor for myopia progression. So in that case, these children should go to sleep early and then wake up early in the morning. I would say maybe 10 would be the maximum time, 9:30, 10 would be maximum time. And then early morning 6 or 6:30 would be the maximum time to wake up. So this way they will get good 9 hours of sleep also. And that, sleeping time is maintained, waking up time is maintained. You will feel so fresh next day. Everything, your lifestyle, your whole body system, everything will be good, right? And this will be helpful to reduce the burden of myopia also. Yeah, so all these things incorporate, implement in your life. 2 hours outdoor light exposure, give frequent break, longer working distance, sleep properly, sleep early, wake up early. Even your posture while reading also matters. So maintain proper posture. So all these things are the lifestyle and environmental related thing, which is the first line of defense to slow down progression of myopia. Now, when we speak about other management, like you were asking, so in that, the other line of management could be your optical therapy, could be your pharmacological therapy. Now in optical also we have spectacle, we have contact lenses. Again, if we see the category of spectacle, we have peripheral defocus spectacles, we have bifocals, we have progressive lenses. Now the mechanism of working of these spectacles will be different. And in contact lens, you can see orthochal lenses, you will be seeing center distance multifocal contact lenses, peripheral defocus contact lenses. Again, the working mechanism will be different for different designs. In pharmacological therapy, the most commonly used one is the atropine with 0.01% concentration. Yeah, so these are the other line of treatment that can be given to children.
Okay, all right. So we had talked about the this clinical practice and the for the clinicians. So I guess this is as you are telling about the myopia progression, anti-myopia activities. So you are mostly focusing on the outdoor activities and the activities of the children or behavior of the children. So I guess it should be multidisciplinary approach, as well as it should be go through the some national policy level or community eye health policy level. So talking about this policy, so what you do recommend to the parents or the the careless persons who lead the society. So what are the suggestions for them? So what would you like to suggest to them?
Yeah, very interesting and very important also. I think this now this is important in the sense that when you give suggestion, being a clinician, right, when you give suggestion to those kids who visit to your clinic or who visit to the hospital. You will touch the life of single kid. But if you make certain policies at a national level, at a government level, then you will touch the life of multiple and many children. Okay, and in return, this is actually beneficial for the government and nation itself, because if more kids will get myopia, then the burden of myopia, the cost that family, that children has to spend on buying spectacle, buying contact lenses, going and coming to the clinics every time. So everything in healthcare especially, this burden will be so much enormous to the patient and to the families, that ultimately it is going to be burden to the government itself, in the economy of government itself. So I think government and national and the people who are the stakeholders who are sitting at the this national level education policy making level, I think some policies should be made to slow down the progression of myopia, or to delay, or at least to avoid myopia, and not to let Nepal and countries like Nepal or India or Bangladesh, whosoever in South Asian region, to reach up to the level of East Asian countries. Right now, I could think of few policies here which government can implement at the school level, and there can be few policies which the local governments can implement at the community level, starting with the national level policies. Like I was talking about, if we can expose children to at least 2 hours in sunlight, then that would be beneficial to delay or to prevent the onset of myopia, right? So same thing can be implemented in the school also, right? We are giving currently mainly in most of the places, our school runs from morning 10 to 4, right? And then there will be certain breaks around like 12:30 to 1:30 or something, like 12 to 1, something like that, right? So if we can give smaller breaks in between also, let's say 10-minute break after 2 periods, second period is gone, then 10 minutes break, third and fourth period is gone, then after that long break, tiffin break basically, after that again 2 periods, again 10-minute break. So that way, and in every break we should ask children to go be outside in the play outside in the playground basically, not to be inside. We should motivate them to be outside, so this way they will get outdoor light exposure in an episode. That will be beneficial. I would like to talk about one of the example from Taiwan. So what Taiwan has done, they have made a policy where they made a policy to lock their classroom during the break time, during leisures, during this recess time. Okay, so they don't allow children to be inside the classroom. Every children should be outside, and that break is for 1 hour, good 60 minutes. So that way, every children are getting like 60 minutes of outdoor light exposure. So what a wonderful kind of policies, right? Another policy that was taken or implemented in Singapore and China is to reduce the load of homework. Okay, now I was also speaking about like excessive near work is risk factor for myopia progression, right? So if we can reduce this near work, then also that will be beneficial. So Chinese and Singaporeans, these governments are very strict in reducing the load of this homework, so that children gets more time to get outdoor light exposure and less time they gets involved in near work. This can be another policy, but again, that's entirely depend upon our need also. Now, if Chinese government and Taiwan people are doing like this, or Singaporean people are doing like this, doesn't mean that everything we should implement in our system also. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But whatever is beneficial in the context of our country, our school, our kids, we have to take examples from there, and then we can do these things, right? One more thing can be done, that every day at least 1 period should be dedicated to sports, right? Outdoor games. So if we can implement that good 50 minutes of time for outdoor games, then that will be beneficial in myopia related terms also, and to build up a good physics, lifestyle, your healthy lifestyle, everything will be done, right? You might get good players for that plays for our nation also. That can also we can produce those. Yeah.
Yes.
So it has a multiple advantages, I would say. These are something that can be implemented in the school level also. To increase the amount of light, not to allow children to study in dim light. There should be good windows, big windows can be kept in the classrooms, big classrooms can be made. All those things can be done. At community level, I would say a local government, if they can conduct some kind of community related programs on every Saturdays where children will come and participate. So that way also, I mean, children should be encouraged to participate on all those programs. So that way also they are getting outdoor light exposure. Yeah. So these things can be done. These policies can be made at local level also, from national level also. Yeah.
So I guess we are making the children happy because we are talking about, playing the outside and reducing the homework load.
Yeah. I guess
All
for
right.
the children are becoming happy, but parents may not be so happy since I'm saying, hey, you send your children to play outside. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is for the good. This will be a good for them, good for the children, good for the eye health. So
Yeah.
ultimately we have to follow this route. Okay. So I guess we are almost end of the session, and still I'm looking for your best advice before ending this session. So if you would like to give any message to the parents or clinicians so who are working on the anti-myopic activities.
Yeah. My suggestion for parents at first, and then I'll give a small suggestion to clinician also. So for parents, so like I said, since outdoor light exposure and all those things, lifestyle related things, these are very important to slow down or to delay or prevent onset of myopia. So I think for children especially, guys, you can go outside. Your time, this is the age where you have to play outside, where you have to make friends. So make friends. Don't be so introvert. Don't be always be inside, be indoors, right? So you have to get exposure of outdoor light also. Go outside, make friends, play everything, all local games. We used to play a lot of local games. Now you people are just taking one smartphone, playing PUBG, Fireflies, or whatever, all those games you are playing. Yeah, stop that. Go outside, play outside. Okay. I remember while I'm saying this, I remember one of the famous memes that came out, I think 2 or 3 years back, where 1998 and 2018 is compared. I'll just share that here. Are you able to see this, Kapil?
Yes, I'm able to.
Yeah. So this is very famous meme, and then I like this. In 1998, that kid is playing basketball and mother is saying, hey, you have played enough, you come inside now, enough of playing outdoors, right? And then just see how the generation had changed. In 2018, now that mother is pulling that child ear and saying, hey, now you go outside, enough of spending time in smartphones and all, doing all this nonsense near work, go outside, you play outside. So this is the change in generation that we are seeing now, right? So I think still being a child, you can go outside, you can go play outside, and then you can change this meme again in 2028. Again, the reversal can be seen, okay, that you can do. And for parents also, I think don't just ask them to be always indoors and then always like keep on engaged in some kind of reading things, all those things. Everything has time. Dedicate some time for children to study. They will complete their home assignments, all those things, and dedicate some time for them to go outside. Maybe whenever they come back from school, and then for until the time sunlight remains there, right? So that first 1 hour, send your children outside. They will go outside, play, get some sunlight exposure, and then once they come back, ask them to study. Okay, so that way you manage find a time how your how that balance is achieved. That's upon you. That's my suggestion for parents, for children. Now my suggestion for clinician is, guys, I think managing myopia is not a rocket science. We all can do it. If a children comes to you and then you see that there is a progression of myopia, so don't just treat them just by giving a single pair of single vision spectacle, right? We can do much more than that. We can give them based upon obviously we have to do some extra battery of tests like lag of accommodation, Fourier test, peripheral refraction, all those things, biometry, all those things are obviously there. We can do few of them, whatever is available in our clinic, whatever we can do from our side, the best we can do that. Let's do that. And then in place of just your single vision spectacle, you can give them bifocal, progressive, or contact lenses. You can, if not by you can just refer them. you can refer them to ophthalmologists to start anti-myopia strategies, pharmacological therapy, basically atropine and all those things. So that can be done. So let's take a step ahead and then treat these myopes, slow down the myopia progression, reduce the economic burden to families and to nations. So I think this is all that I want to say to you. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. I guess we had talked lots about the, for the parents and for the clinicians, a little bit for the clinicians. I guess we have to make one more postcard for the, clinical based, or, what are the research and scientific based that can directly help to them to have a better clinical practice for the myopia. All right, so thank you so much, Rohit sir, for your time, for your such a wonderful suggestion. I hope that will be create a little bit little small impact, at least in our society. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Kapil, for inviting me. And then guys, yeah, thanks for listening me and listening, Kapil. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye, sir. Have a good day.
Bye, thanks.